Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
Daddy's back day.
Daddy's back. There are a few daddies that came back and one daddy that debuted. Actually,
Yes.
we are going to get so into it, guys. We had a really great episode of SmackDown. So welcome, guys, to Know Your Role, the SmackDown post show here on BodySlam.net. Guys, if you have not subscribed, please do give this video a thumbs up because it helps us get into the algorithm. But without further ado, I'm Alex, and this is my tribal sister, Stephanie Hypes.
Put the ones up. Let's see the ones.
Let's see the ones in the chat.
What's up?
Ones
Alex?
in the chat.
Missed you last week. I'll just be real. Y'all know I'm a mom. Zoo Lights was last week, and of course the kids wanted to go. My daughter won tickets. So that's where my butt was last week, was freeing my butt off looking at those lights in the zoo. It was a lot of fun. We had hot cocoa. It was great. But I missed y'all. I missed talking my wrestling. So I'm back. And there's a lot. There are people who came back tonight. There's people who debuted tonight. SmackDown was full.
We ate tonight. I'm just going to say for SmackDown.
Speaking of eating.
Really did eat.
Speaking of eating, I'm sorry. I have to go off subject for just a second.
Go off.
There is a mugshot circling its way around the Twitterverse of a certain lady who might have just gotten arrested for possession of marijuana. We're not going to get into that because I can talk about that all night and how it's dumb and how it needs to be legalized. However, we're not going to go there. I am going to talk about this mugshot of hers, though, because she looks absolutely stunning in a mugshot. 8, okay?
She needs to drop the skincare routine. Right? I feel like I kind of appreciate that we live in a time now where it's like, yes, it's so stupid to arrest people for marijuana, and we are fully aware of the mugshot and everything that happened there. But like, I saw someone tweet, I don't know who it is, I'll have to bring it up, but someone tweeted out that like Liv Morgan just gained a whole bunch of new fans tonight because of that mugshot. And she needs to drop the skincare routine for sure, because I wish I looked that good.
What is it? CoverGirl. I need CoverGirl to give her a call, and I need them to go ahead and give her a gig, because look, skin is flawless, eyebrows on point. Like someone tweeted me saying that they follow her on IG, which I think I do, I'm not sure, but I guess she just got her eyebrows done like yesterday or like whenever, and so her eyebrows were like just good to go for the mugshot, I guess, because she had just gotten them done, like possibly left the appointment and got arrested. I don't know. Anyway, just needed to give a shout out to Liv for a beautiful mugshot. Glad you're okay, and good luck with that. But we're here for SmackDown.
I was gonna say everyone hit their joints tonight in honor of Liv Morgan. Hit that bowl, hit that bong, take a hit just for her. You know I will be after the show, but let's
wrap it up so I can pay my respects.
But
wait, MDB999 said I'm smoking on that Liv Morgan pack tonight.
Listen,
Oh
I
God.
think maybe she should come out with her own like oil
Strain.
line, pen
Just call
line,
it.
something like that. I'd
Just
buy it.
call it the only live once
Oh my god. No,
strain.
in like all seriousness, I'm sure that it was not a fun experience for her to go through.
Oh yeah, no.
So we send her all of our love. We're all on her side, of course, and
And
F
if you're not,
Florida.
you have a problem. Anyway, moving on.
Anyway,
Our SmackDown post show again. SmackDown had a lot going on tonight. A lot of fun things. A lot of comebacks, debuts. We do have some breaking news from SmackDown as well, which I'm assuming we'll get there regarding the Charlotte Flair. So yeah, let's just hop into it. Let's hop into it.
yes, let's hop into it. Let's hop into it. So we opened the show with Roman Reigns. He's returned, and man, like it's always such a pleasure to have Roman Reigns. Like
It's always a
he's
pleasure.
so like he barely shows up, which I'm sure everyone has their own opinions on. But when he does, he just commands a room.
He
And
does.
it's like every time he's on screen, I'm just always reminded that like he is on top for a reason. I believe he achieved a new record for 1,200 days.
That is correct. That he
Yes,
did.
yes, yes.
That he
So
did.
he
I mean,
did
everyone
indeed.
has their feelings about it, as you said. I do wish he was around more, just as a wrestling fan. However, when he does come, it's special, and like she said, he commands a room, he commands the attention, and he puts it on, man. And it was a great opening segment, with the bloodline. Um, I think probably the most important part of that initial segment was him naming the next tribal chief, which I don't know. Roman a year ago would have never said anything like this. So the fact that he's kind of saying, like, "Hey, I'm the person I'm passing the torch to," and it was just really cute to me, I guess. A cute moment with Jimmy kind of getting ready in the background, like taking his jacket off. He's like, "Oh, okay, like this is it. He's about to crown me. This is it." And for him to say Jimmy, and everyone's like, and he's like, come up here and help me congratulate your brother, Solo, as the next
Yeah.
tribal chief. And Jimmy just looked absolutely heartbroken. Absolutely heartbroken.
Yeah, I don't I mean like listen, at Crown Jewel, Solo Sokoa took out John Cena clean. So like
Clean.
on paper, I mean it makes sense, but I'd like to think sometimes that Roman does play a little bit of mind games within his inner circle.
Oh, for
And
sure.
so for sure. And it's almost
Yeah.
like a test. But the exciting part, I mean, they're teasing a lot, and we're definitely gonna get into it with the backstage segment.
Mm-hmm.
But Randy Orton comes out. Randy Orton comes out,
Daddy.
and Daddy is home. Daddy is home. He almost got Roman with her RKO too, and they set up the main event with Randy Orton and Jimmy Uso for the night. I'm loving this. I'm loving it's this feels refreshing. It Randy Orton is definitely picking up where he left off 18
Yes.
months ago.
They have
And
him
I'm
wrestling like crazy, right?
yeah,
Like
they do. He's back.
he's back. Like I thought they were
I
gonna ease
mean,
into it, but he's had a
wh-
match almost on Raw, on SmackDown. I'm sorry, on SmackDown, on Raw, back on SmackDown. I'm like, okay, they
I
are
mean
not
when
taking
Daddy
it
looks
easy.
that good, you have to have him in the ring.
He
He's
really does look
Daddy.
better than ever. He really
He
does. But
does. He
he
does.
really does. But they had a killer. I thought what was a great promo. Sorry, I had trouble getting that out. Um, and I love how he set up the Legend Killer line where he was like, Roman, like you've changed. You've done amazing things. Like I'm proud of you. I've been watching this whole time. Da da da. Oh, you're a legend. And you see Roman like, man, I know. Like he's like hyping him up. He's like, oh, like
Mm-hmm.
okay, like I can take this. And when he goes, I've changed too. But one thing that'll never change is I'm the legend killer. And everyone
Yep.
was like, ah, like it was a great setup. I loved it. Some people saw it coming. Um, some people want him to bring back his other entrance song, I guess. If he's
Yes,
gonna go
I
back to
do.
being the legend killer. Do you?
I do. I acknowledge it.
Yeah.
I acknowledge it. Bring it back. Bring it back. Even if it's just
What's
one
it called
time,
again?
because burning my light.
Born in my light. Thank you. I was like, I almost about to say born in my light, and I'm like, if I say this wrong, I'm gonna get added too much on Twitter. Like,
No,
too many
but like
places.
it's a great song. But also they did that with Drew McIntyre at Clash of the Castle where they brought back his old theme song. Like I think it would be
Yes.
really cool if they brought Randy's Burning My Light theme song for the Royal Rumble. Um and even like setting up some kind of like opening vignette of him as the killer and like marking Roman off his list of like an extensive list because like Roman's up there. What he's doing right now is pretty legendary. He's at a
Yeah.
thousand and two
No,
hundred
he's
days.
he's
Like
at legend status at this point. It makes
yes.
sense to them for them to lean into the legend killer streak of his, and I just want them to like just show highlights of him taking out all the legends over the years. And then to your point, lead into a package with Roman and saying like, all right, Roman, you're you're the next one or whatever it might be. Like I just
Mm-hmm.
think this is gonna be so much fun. I'm so excited to see Randy versus uh, Roman, and obviously he has to probably go through every member of the bloodline first to get there, and
Mm-hmm.
possibly somebody else, but we're not going to mention it right now because that's at the end of the show. Dun, dun,
It was a
dun.
pretty exciting ending for the show. Of course, stick around for the end of this stream so you know our thoughts about a certain face that runs the place. Um,
The house that he built, right? Is that it? Is,
I
this right?
think
Is that what he says? This is the
I
house
think
that
so.
I built. Okay,
The
that
phenomenal one. Anywho,
built. Anyway,
we'll get to it. We'll get to it.
so
But
they set up a match between Randy and Jimmy Uso
mhm,
for the main event for SmackDown. So this sets all this up. Randy comes incredibly close to RKOing Roman right there in the ring. The crowd popped because they thought he got him. Roman scurried away. And Randy then says, I don't know, I'm listening to the voices in my head, and they just told me that you just possibly shit yourself, Roman. So he couldn't say shit because we're on Fox, but he said poop. You
he
possibly
said
pooped
poop.
yourself, Roman.
He pooped himself. It was a great opening segment for
It was.
SmackDown to have Roman return. Randy is back home, and
Mhm.
I liked the setup for the main event for this and the setup to the Royal Rumble. Like, let's not beat around the bush. This is going to be the match that we're going to get at the Royal Rumble with Randy Orton versus
Absolutely.
Roman Reigns. I think this is a great match to look forward to with the Royal Rumble. Of course, the Royal Rumble is the match of all matches when it comes to that pay per view. But Roman
Absolutely.
has had a very I like Roman's history in the Royal Rumble right now as champion with his
Hmm.
feud with Seth Rollins, bringing back the Shield era last year
That was
with
so cool.
Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens with the Bloodline, and now heading into this Royal Rumble with Randy Orton. I think this is a great setup. This is a great feud leading into it, and we'll get to more thoughts about that towards the end because what happened at the end of SmackDown definitely is
There was a
more of
wrench in
my
some things.
yeah, and it sparks up a little bit more of my opinion on that subject. So we'll get to that in a bit, but let's move on to the to the match, our first match of the night, which was
Mhm.
for the United States title tournament. This
Yes.
is the second round. Yes. No, no, no,
Yes.
the first round.
Well, no,
Sorry,
this
this
is
is the
still the
first
first
round.
round. This is the other side
We
of the bracket.
yes, we wrapped
Yep.
up the first round, and we got Grayson Waller with NXT's own Carmelo
I'm so
Hayes. He is
excited.
him,
He's literally
baby.
him, y'all. Like, oh my god. Like, I don't know. I'm so stupid emotional. Like I got like teary eyed, like seeing him come out on SmackDown because I'm just like, I believe in this kid so much. Like I just think he has so much potential, and yet I feel like he's just barely scratched the surface in NXT, and it just felt so good seeing him come out there. He actually got a reaction from the crowd, so the crowd somewhat knew of him, which is awesome. Um, and Grayson Waller and him obviously have the history from NXT, which is awesome as well to kind of see both of them on this stage now on SmackDown, coming from NXT. And so I was just so happy when he walked out. I about lost it. I was like,
Yeah,
look at
Carmelo Hayes is a special talent that like we don't see very often in terms of like he's just so magical. There's just something about him that is just so special. And with the opening vignette that they showed, that video package that they showed before, really set him up.
yeah.
And like you said, there's a good history between Grayson Waller and Carmelo Hayes. I wish that they would have gotten a little bit more into that with the video package,
Yeah,
but they did get into it on commentary, which I am happy that they did acknowledge
they
that.
did.
But it was a banger. I think for
Yeah.
Carmelo's SmackDown debut, main roster debut, I think this was a fantastic match. I think it was
I think so
perfect for
too.
him to go against Grayson Waller, again, someone that he's had
Yes.
experience with. And if you know, or if you follow Carmelo Hayes from NXT, um, you know that they were going to put out a great match. They've put out great
Oh yeah.
matches in NXT, and they did tonight. I would personally say that this was the match of the night for me.
I know I agree. And Grayson Waller in his own right has done an amazing job to me on main roster so far. He's generated a decent amount of heat from the crowd. I think he's an amazing heel. I think he has the it factor as well. And he's a great opponent to go up against for a fifth. I think to your point, for a debut match for Carmelo, I absolutely feel that he needed somebody that was going to be able to put him over, even though he was winning, him over even more, as in be a good worker on the other side of that ring for him to do all his tricks and get all those moves in so he can impress the main roster crowd and be like, okay, like this guy's pretty good, right? So,
Hmm.
and Grayson Waller is a great opponent to do that for you, especially for Carmelo with their history. So, again, match of the night as well for me. Absolutely enjoyed watching every bit of this. Them going back and forth, and Carmelo picked up the W, and I
I was
absolutely popped. I was shocked, to be honest. I thought
I
Grayson Waller was going to win.
I was a little shocked as well. And like considering the story that's happening with Grayson Waller, Austin Theory, and Kevin Owens, I thought that Grayson Waller was gonna move up, but I'm glad that he didn't. I'm glad that Carmelo Hayes got the win. I
Yeah.
think this is really gonna set up Carmelo Hayes perfectly for the future, on
Do
for
you
his
think
future
he
on the
goes
main
all the
roster.
way, Alex? I do you think it's going to be him versus Logan Paul at Royal Rumble for the United States Championship?
I don't think so. I don't think that Carmelo will advance to face Logan Paul. I think that that is definitely the match that we will wait for, because
Okay.
I can see them making a really great feud out of Logan Paul and Carmelo Hayes. That's a huge match
It's
for
a huge
him,
match.
just because Logan Paul is just such a huge figure,
Well, and
outside of
as much as I hate to
WWE.
say this, he's good in the ring. Like, he's
And
great in the
he's
ring.
we say it every week. We hate to mention that Logan Paul
Hate to
is
say
great
it.
in the ring, But he is, unfortunately he is, and I think that he would have great chemistry with Carmelo Hayes in the ring. I
I
don't think
agree.
for this tournament he will advance beyond Kevin Owens.
Mm,
But I I think he showed out. He showed out tonight.
did
I hope that he did gain more fans and people will continue to follow him in NXT. I'm more looking forward for Carmelo Hayes to enter the Royal Rumble. And
mm,
I would love,
nice.
love, love to see. I don't know how it would happen, but I would love to see Carmelo Hayes as like a Final Four in the Royal Rumble.
Think to your point, I think he absolutely will debut on the main roster pay per view at Royal Rumble. I think he will be one of them. I think Braun Breaker is going to be another one. Um, and I think he's going to have an excellent showing. I wouldn't be surprised if he's number one or two.
Hmm.
And they just have him going almost all the way to the end, probably top six. I'm gonna say. Um, Same with Braun Breaker. They probably both will go a long way, but I don't know. I'm excited for the future for Carmelo. Obviously, he has a great story going on with Trick and the Who Done It mystery
Hmm.
going on over there in NXT. So obviously, there's other things that he is doing and focusing on. But again, I was shocked that he won tonight. To be honest, so I'm actually really looking forward to Kevin Owens versus Carmelo Hayes next week. Um, that's a match I never thought I was going to see anytime soon. So I'm actually very excited about that.
Yeah, and let's get into that match because the second match for the tournament tonight we had Austin Theory versus Kevin Owens. Again, makes sense with the story that they have.
Yep.
Uh, it was a good match. I thought Austin Theory was probably going to win that, but he didn't, and Kevin Owens won. And I am so happy that Kevin Owens won because I really didn't want to see Austin Theory versus Carmelo Hayes. It's nothing against Austin Theory. It's just um
He's
I
been
just
chasing the
don't
US title for so long since
let it
losing it.
go.
And I'm like, let's get some
Yeah.
other people in the mix. So I'm just happy to
Yeah.
see KO going after the US title and hopefully going to beat the pulp out of Logan Paul. Hopefully we get
This
there.
is well this so Kevin Owens wins, and for the second round we are going to get next week Kevin Owens versus Carmelo Hayes.
Yep.
I want to break down a little bit of how amazing this setup is because when Kevin Owens was the NXT champion and he entered the main roster, he entered the main roster with John Cena's US Open Challenge. You
Yep.
know, so there's a lot of history with Kevin Owens with that United States Championship. Carmelo
Yeah.
Hayes still in NXT competing in this tournament and now going to face next week against Kevin Owens. That's so exciting for me. Like that's like the
Yeah.
element of matches that I really like. When there's like deep lore within each match, there's deep lore within each opponent, and they're finally coming together with their own stories. And this is a first
Yeah.
time ever that we're going to see Kevin Owens versus Carmelo Hayes. I
I always
really
love a first time
loved
ever too.
love
Mm.
it. Love it. I love it. I eat it up every single time.
Oh yeah.
And
Oh
I
yeah.
absolutely loved the backstage segment that they had with
Me
Kayla
too.
Braxton stopping Kevin Owens, and then Carmelo Hayes was right there, and he even said, you know, I have a lot of respect for you, but I need this more than you. And he's
He
not
did.
wrong. He's
He's
not
not
wrong.
wrong. He's like, I'm not Austin Theory. I'm not Grayson Waller. I'm not going to stand there and wait to get punched in the face. Like he basically said, I'm going to come for you, right?
Yeah.
And I
He
love
kept it
that. I
real.
love that they had him do that. I love
Hmm.
that that's how they're going about this versus the I respect you. I don't really want to, step on your toes. Like Carmelo said, F that. F all of that. I respect you, but it's my time. Like I need this. And I absolutely love it. I just love it.
I'm
Um,
loving it. I'm really excited to look. I'm That's
so
the number one match I'm looking forward to next week for SmackDown. Um
so we have Bobby
it's gonna
Lashley
be great.
versus Santos Escobar
Mhm.
versus I'm sorry, Bobby Lashley versus Santos Escobar, and we have Kevin Owens versus Carmelo. for the second round. Yes, the
Yes,
second
it's gonna be for the
round
second
of the
round. Yeah.
US Championship tournament.
Mm-hmm.
Um I don't know. I don't know. Santos is doing amazing work as a heel. Um I kind of want to see him advance, but I can kind of see LWO or what's his name? Carlito stopping him,
Stopping
or
him. Yeah.
yeah, I think Carlito's going to interfere, and that's the reason why Santos will not move on. I think Bobby Lashley will end up getting the W, um,
Mm-hmm.
and then you have KO and Carmelo, and I think most of us agree that it's going to be an amazing match. But I think KO does end up getting the W here at the end, and we get KO versus Bobby Lashley in the final. So,
I agree.
and that's honestly something I want to see as well. So, this whole tournament has been awesome. I think it's been amazing matchups. I think they did a great job picking who was in it. Um, I'm looking forward to next week.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Definitely looking forward to next week. For sure. For sure. For
All
sure.
right.
But I want to get into so well before that, we had the backstage segment with LA Knight running into RKO. He's like, "Let me know what time you want me to come to save you." Um, which was like,
I
I love
love
it. I
it.
love
Just
it.
breaking the fourth wall, where he's like,
I love
just let
it.
me know when do you want me to come help you? Like,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
just
Like just say
when
the
when should I
word.
make the run out?
Exactly. Just say the word and I will be there.
I love it.
But I loved it. I liked it, but we'll get into more of that. But I wanted to touch base on this Karrion Cross vignette that aired
Mm,
tonight, teasing a new beginning of Karrion Cross.
yeah,
What did you think about this? Because with Karrion Cross, like he is getting a little lost on the main roster. He needs a
very,
reset.
very.
I feel like this is the
He even tweeted
last
it. Actually,
chance.
he
Yeah.
tweeted it.
Yeah.
He said, "Time for a reset" or whatever. And someone, how people post on Twitter, like, "What do you think of this person's booking? Or what do you think of this person as a performer? Whatever it is."
Yeah.
Now he follows me, and so I didn't want to say anything like, hurtful or whatever. But I was like, he needs a gimmick change. I literally said, I'm like, he needs a gimmick change. I was like, because to me, he has potential. I honestly feel like he needs a faction to be a part of, and or a really good manager, that speaks, because he does have Scarlett, but she doesn't manage him really. She's just kind of like his escort. Um, and I do feel, and they need to not break them up. That sounds horrible. Just think Scarlett should be doing her own thing in the women's division somehow.
Hmm.
Maybe managing Isla Dawn and Alba Fire, or joining that group, and then Carrie needs to be on his own with a good mouthpiece. Now, who that is,
Hmm.
don't know, but I do feel that he needs something. He needed a gimmick change. So to your point, he got to go. They brought him back. He's kind of getting lost in the sauce again. They're not really getting behind him in this dark whatever character he's supposed to be. Um, so this is kind of his last chance, like you said.
I think it is. And it I don't want to sound harsh by saying that, but it just he has not connected with the WWE universe. He
Mm-mm.
just hasn't. And it sucks because I don't think it's necessarily his fault, but there's just something about all the elements to Karrion Cross that he's just not coming
It's not
across.
clicking. Yeah.
It's not, yeah, it's just there's something not clicking, and I really do think that this is his last chance and he needs to put all of his chips in for this to work out, because if it doesn't, I don't know what the future will hold for
Do
Karrion
you
Cross, and
think
that
they
sucks
brought him
because I
up
really
too
like
soon?
him. I think so. I think they
I,
brought him
I
up
think
a
so too.
little too
I,
soon.
I think he should have
I
stayed in NXT.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought
I
he was very dominant,
yeah.
and I thought his presentation in NXT I actually really liked.
Hmm.
Um but the sole focus of it was Scarlett a lot of the time. Like to me, she
Mm-hmm.
was kind of the, I hate to say star, but the highlight of that. And then he was just the, the big bad muscle that just came through and ran through everybody. I thought his debut in NXT was great. I thought his booking in NXT was great. I thought his presentation in NXT was great. But they moved him up to main roster within, I think, 3 months, 2 3 months.
Yeah.
And I think that was too soon. Like I was honestly at a point where I was like, just send him back to NXT and let
Yeah.
him grow some more. Like I don't know if that's the answer, but I guess what we see. There's some reset happening. So
I think if this reset doesn't work out, he's got to go back to NXT. I mean, it that is the reset sometimes for some people. It's worked
it
with
is.
Finn Balor. It's kind of working for Baron Corbin right now. Mandy
I agree.
Rose has done very well with that as well. I feel like it's not a bad thing for people to move down to NXT and just kind of like just a little bit of, again, like just a reset. We keep repeating that word, but it just seems like this is what he needs. Obviously he is saying that, but
Yeah.
again, this is just his last chance to try to click on TV. And I kind of think that maybe this shouldn't be it. I think if they're teasing a new beginning for him, they should be doing it in NXT. I think it would be a little
Yeah.
bit more exciting to see him in NXT, to see him back in these, these takeover. I mean, we don't call it takeovers anymore, but I think
Yeah.
there's
The
a lot
PLE's
of,
down there.
yeah, and I think there's a lot of potential for him to just shine a little bit more with that roster in NXT, cuz when he was in NXT, you had some heavy hitters. You had Adam Cole, you had Finn Balor, but right now it just feels like it would make much more sense for him to go against people like, Braun Breaker, sure, Carmelo Hayes would be good, Ilya Dragunov, but it's just something about this, like you said, he's just a little lost in the sauce when it comes to the main roster. And again, I think this is his last chance before we start discussing him going to the NXT. I think that should have been the move instead of this vignette. But we're just going to have to wait to see. The infamous
Well, because
saying,
the
let it play
vignette to
out.
me kind of looked like the same. The vignette looked like kind of the same vignettes they've been doing. That's why I'm like, what exactly is the reset? Like the win
Yeah,
loss
yeah.
record? Like
Mm-hmm.
what is the reset? Like I guess we'll wait and see. Obviously, I have no problem with carrying across. I actually think he has great potential. I just think that the character that they gave him, unless you're gonna be fully behind it, because it was a very dominant character, but he kept losing. So it's
Mm-hmm.
like, unless they're gonna be fully behind it, you can't give him that kind of character, or else it makes him look like a fool, which is kind of what's been happening. So, um, I guess we'll see.
We're just gonna have to wait
Guess we'll
and
see.
see. But what did you think of the segment backstage with the bloodline and Jimmy slipping in the yeet? Roman was big mad about
I love it, and I
that.
love that. I was like, I love that. It just pisses Roman off so much, and the fact that Jimmy was heartbroken kind of earlier. I think he did it on purpose because he was kind of like, like a rebel, like just I know you like this. I'm gonna slip it in here, and I love any Jimmy Uso segment because he just adds a hint of comedy and comedic timing to things that is
Absolutely.
just needed in pro wrestling. So I absolutely loved it.
Yeah, I loved it too. I can't I it's when the day comes that Jimmy is reunited with Jay and they finally take out Roman and or Solo, that is the day that we are all going to celebrate in the streets with that. But I like the
The yeet
cracks.
celebrate the yeetdom,
Yeah,
the
the Yeet
yeetdom.
celebration heard all across the world, but I like the cracks that they're showing with this. I like the cracks that they're
Oh
showing
yeah,
with Roman and Jimmy and Solo.
they
Let's
needed it. To
see.
be honest with you, they needed it because the Bloodline story to me had kind of flat. Especially after SummerSlam, it was kind of like what? Like people really never like obviously, and now we know it was their way of getting Jay away so he can do his solo thing. But it just kind of fell flat to me. Um, and I just really didn't care at this point, like who was facing Roman and if he's gonna drop the title. Like I'm like, I guess, like whatever. It needed another layer.
Mm-hmm.
You could say it definitely got some tonight, in some different ways. But one of them being the cracks they're now showing because Roman did pick Solo as the tribal chief, and Jimmy all these weeks while Roman's been gone has kind of been acting like the tribal chief, right? So I think his head he was like, well, I was showing you guys I could do it, right? And you still pick Solo. So um, I always like a cracks and family and faction storyline. So
I think something's gonna go down with them at the Royal Rumble. This is the first, this will be the first time in a while that they're all together for a PLE, and I think we might see some backstage interaction with Jay and Jimmy running into each other. Uh,
mhm. Sorry.
Solo Yikoa, let's go! Comment of the night.
Thank you, Solo Yikoa. I'm so tweeting that. Thank
Yeah. Oh my god.
NDB999. If that's your name on Twitter, I'm totally adding you, and I'm gonna say Solo Yikoa,
That was
the
great.
next
That
tribal
was
chief.
great.
I can't.
Oh man. But
But yeah,
we
you're
have
right. I didn't
to
think about the run-in with Jay and Jimmy. Probably at Rumble, I'm assuming.
yeah.
The last time we saw them do the run-in was Survivor Series. No,
No.
there was a video of it. Was that a live event? Maybe it was a live event.
Possibly.
I forget. But anyway, moving on.
Moving on, let's send our love to
Yeet.
Charlotte Flair because unfortunately it was announced that Charlotte will be out for 9 months due to her knee injury. That is tough. I feel like she just came back to
She just
like,
came back like 5, 6 months
uh,
ago.
it's, and
5 months ago, six
it's
months ago.
it's a hard reminder that in this wonderful world that we love of professional wrestling, anything can happen. And they really are putting their bodies on the line. And the
Yep.
fact that she will be out for 9 months is very tough because I think that she was just kind of, getting her ground a little bit when it came to the story of Damage Control and Bianca.
And being a
But Bianca,
face.
and being a face too. And the Royal Rumble is just around the corner. WrestleMania was just around the corner. I think that
Yeah.
we were all really anticipating for, the
Bianca
Charlotte
Belair.
versus. Well, I was gonna say Charlotte versus Jade Cargill eventually when that happened, but yeah,
Mm,
I mean Bianca Belair. That's her last four horsewomen on her list. What
that
is
is.
Charlotte Flair? So
Do they
it's.
bring in Jade now for
I think
Bianca?
so. I think so.
I think they do.
Yeah.
I think they do. Same, obviously. Look, it's crazy because you can make like we do all this fantasy booking and we do all this, whatever, and oh, it's a dream match. Oh, I can't wait, for Bianca versus Charlotte. And we talk like it's a definite a lot. Um, and I think the plan probably was Charlotte Flair's Bianca Belair. But this is pro wrestling. Things can happen so quickly. Things can change so quickly. So you cannot take for granted when you see these superstars on TV, person, whatever it may be, like enjoy them. Enjoy the moments because you just never know when someone may have a career ending injury or injury that takes them out for a year, or 9 months, or 6 months, or 2 months. And it's rough, especially when you're one of your favorites. Like you're just kind of like, what? And it's even rougher when it happens right before Mania season. Like that hurts. I know that has to hurt her. Because Mania is their Super Bowl. January through April is all hands on deck. Everybody's
Yeah.
focused, lasered in. You're trying to be the hottest story going in. Like this was one of those kind of okay, you gotta get to rest a little bit. Um, months for them, and then this happens. And so Obviously, wishing her a speedy recovery. It truly does suck. I'll be honest with you guys. When I heard them first say she was out for 9 months, I was like, "Oh shit, she's pregnant!" And I was like, "Wait, no," because she. I was like, "She'll be gone longer than 9 months if she would." Sorry,
Yeah,
my
yeah.
mind went there. I'm like, "Oh my god, she's pregnant!" Like I got all excited for her. And I'm like, "No," and then they mentioned her knee, and I'm like, "Damn, God, that sucks.
It,
That's a long
I mean
time."
it looked pretty bad last week from the
It did.
videos that we
It did.
saw. It did look bad from the videos that were posted from fans after the match. So, and even the spill that happened, I think it happened during commercial break if I'm not mistaken, but
Yeah.
it didn't look good, but I will say, let me set up a little scenario for you. I know
Ooh.
that we all hate. I mean, I'm not on that board. I'm not on that boat, but I know that some people really dislike the fact that when Charlotte Flair comes back, she's immediately entered into the title scene.
Oh, no
However,
comment.
however, if we are really setting up Jade Cargill at the Royal Rumble, and it's possibly I this is something I would love to see, right? We can't ignore Jade Cargill's record that she had in AEW. You know, she was 60
Mhm.
and 0, or rather she was 60 and 2 when she was done with AEW, right?
Yep. Yep.
And she was champion, she was TBS champion, I believe, for 508 days. I could be mistaken on that. But you can't
Sounds right.
deny that that is such a dominant streak that she had in this other company. Yes, she's restarting in this new company, but they are
Yeah,
acknowledging her as a mega star with the way that she was signed.
absolutely.
So, hear me out. Let me cook for a little bit. Let me cook.
Okay. All
Jade
right.
Cargill enters the Royal Rumble. That is when she debuts in on the main roster, right?
Mhm.
Does she win the Rumble? Does she not win the Rumble? That is really up in the air with the fantasy booking. However, I would
Mhm.
love to see Jade
Mhm.
Cargill versus Rhea Ripley. Jade Cargill
Mm.
is the one to take the title off of Rhea Ripley. She is champion by around the time of SummerSlam or the next pay per view in September. And that might
Mhm.
be around the time where Charlotte Flair, that is 9 months. So that might be around the time that Charlotte Flair gets better. When she returns, she faces off against, they have the stare down, you know, Jade Cargill at the
Mhm.
end of whatever match that she has at
Mhm.
SummerSlam. She retains, and then Charlotte music hits, she comes out, and they just have that face to face, and Jade Cargill is holding up you know, the world championship, and like I think that would be amazing. The visuals, I would love it. The setup would be amazing. It's a fantasy
Hmm.
booking though. It's a fantasy booking. I personally would love to see it.
Okay.
But who
Okay.
knows what they have set up for Jade Cargill? Who knows? I mean,
Well, now they have to call some audibles, right? So it's
possibly.
Mania season. They literally call Charlotte's WrestleMania for a reason. She's usually going to be on the show. She's usually going to be one of your main focal points around the title on that show. I think a lot of people, obviously, and we'll get there in just a second here, but there's a certain ex hugger who is now claimed to enter the Royal Rumble, who I think is going to win it. I do think she'd be going after EO, but we'll get there. Um, so I always thought, I think we talked about this before, but I always thought Jade would be entering at Royal Rumble, right? Or debuting at Royal Rumble. I just didn't think she should win the Royal Rumble. And she should have a dominant performance. I think that's a great time to debut her. I didn't think she was going to win. Now, this is where the audible kicks in because now if you need her for a title match, it might get a little difficult now. So I still think Bailey should win. However, does Jade win Elimination Chamber? And what a shocker it would be if Jade did take. So Elimination Chamber is in Perth, Australia.
Hmm.
So Rhea Ripley is not dropping that title before then. She will have that title probably going into Australia.
And she's going to
Does she?
retain in Australia
I feel
too.
like you
I
have to
really
have
do
her
think
retain in
so.
Australia.
Yeah. You
right?
have to. You have
So
to
does
set
Jade
up a huge
Cargill win
match.
Elimination Chamber, the chamber match,
Possibly. I think so.
and then have her come out and face Ripley and do the face off thing, or do you wait for Raw? Whatever it might be. Here's the sad part. The sad part about Aries is that it's sad because the person's injured, but now they can call several different audibles um, to see what else can happen in the women's division. You now have rumors about a certain boss that may be headed back. That's a whole nother monkey wrench thrown into everything. If she comes back. So I don't they can
There's
go
a
several
lot.
ways with this.
There's a lot that's happening with the SmackDown roster. I will say that video package that they had with Damage Control was absolutely incredible. What's that?
Troy's calling me. Hold on. King Troy, the stylist of
Ah!
Mr. Seth Rollins and Rebecca Lynch, is calling me. I'm gonna talk to
Stephanie
him
the
on air.
celebrity.
Hold on, please.
Stephanie the celebrity.
Hold on.
Are we
Like,
getting the scoops?
hold
Guys, we're
on.
getting the
Hey,
scoops.
Hello?
yeah, I am live on my podcast right now, sir.
Steph?
Yeah, I'm live on my podcast right now.
Can you hear me?
Yes, can you hear me?
Okay, yes, but
I
I'm in the car.
I'm live on my podcast right now, Troy.
Oh,
Here,
sorry.
no, say hi real quick. Just say hi.
Hi, Troy.
Hey guys, how you guys doing? What up? She won't put me on her live broadcast.
Yes, I will put you on. I never.
We,
He said I won't put him on. You
I
can
mean,
join
we
us
can
whenever
we can
you want.
slip the link to you
She
if
doesn't
you want.
She doesn't want to broadcast me. Tell my little journey.
I do what you want. He said I don't want to put him on. That is not true, sir. But now we're gonna make that happen. Now you're gonna be a guest, and we're gonna set that up.
I told you the top of the year I'm gonna be ready to talk.
Okay. I'll call you back as soon as we're done.
I'll be out of my mute era.
All right. I'll call you as soon as I'm done.
All right, have fun.
Bye.
Bye. I can't believe I waved as if he was like watching or something.
Hi.
Like a freaking idiot. Jeez Louise.
Look, one's calling you out too. Look, laughing at Alex waving like he can see her.
Leave me alone. Leave me alone. You guys would do it too.
I sent him that I sent him two things. So he dresses Liv Morgan. So I sent him the mugshot and I was like, okay. I was like, first of all, oops, but also she ate. Okay. And then I sent him the thing about Charlotte because he dresses her. I guess he already knew. I was like, well, they didn't tell any of us till tonight. So he knew about that. But I'm assuming it's what he's calling me about. But now he's like, oh yeah, she won't put me on the show. I'm like, what? First of all, I never said he couldn't be on the show. So now we're gonna get Troy on the show. He said at the top of the year he'll be ready to talk and be out of his mute era. So King Troy will be on the show, people.
I love that. Oh my god, I would love
Anyway.
to pick his brain about fashion. Oh my
Right?
goodness, that'd be so
We're
much
gonna have a whole
fun.
fashion post SmackDown episode, guys.
Yes. We got to get him on the show for sure. But let me stop waving to him.
Say hi.
Hi. But that video package, that Damage Control video package was really cool. I want to see more of that from Damage Control. And yeah, it seems like maybe they had something planned this week with Charlotte, but we got the reunion of the Kabuki Warriors.
Well, first of all, that video package, I'm just going to talk about it for a second. It wasn't just a video package. Like, there were such hints to things. The one that stands out in my mind the most is Bailey's talking and she says, yeah, she's like, obviously being the mastermind of the group, or she's something like that. And right when she says the mastermind of the group, they pan to Dakota. And a close up of her, and Dakota's looking at Bailey like, mm-hmm. Like just kind of like, it without it, like they seemed cohesive in the video, like everyone was a big happy group, but there were these little moments that they would like cut out and show faces, or Dakota making a face, saying mastermind, and them actually cutting to Dakota. Like there's just all these little clues now that they're kind of dropping. I think we were already kind of on the uh guessing that Dakota is kind of the mastermind behind everything that's going on, but now it's kind of in a video package. So I just thought it was really cool. And then at the end, Bailey says, "My plan is finally coming together." And you kind of see them all look at her like, "What?" So it's just little things like that. I'm absolutely loving it. That video package was amazing. And like Alex just said, the Kabuki Warriors are back, and they had their music. Did you hear that? The Kabuki Warrior music. Oh my god!
I did.
I have to break up my Kabuki Warrior shirt now.
I absolutely listen. I'm a Joshi girly. Like I loved to see them reunite. And Bailey did say like we're gonna take all the championships, so it would be cool to see Kabuki Warriors as WWE Tag Champions again. I would love it. Yeah. I would absolutely love it. But solid match with the Kabuki Warriors versus Zelina Vega and Mia Yim. Zelina and Mia are getting their lick back from the past couple weeks. And now it's been announced that we are going to have I believe an 8-woman Havoc tag match
Christmas
for next
tree,
week. Christmas tree tag
holiday Havoc
match,
or whatever they call it.
Something like that. But I wanted to see a little bit more of the women because I feel like it's been like that's been the exciting
focal point
story. Yeah. Like the women have been really doing a good job carrying SmackDown before Randy came back. There you go, Holiday Havoc. Before Randy came back and even Roman not being there. So I wish we would have had a little bit more of it, but I really liked the video package. I think the video package was really great, and the reunion of the Kabuki Warriors, we all went home happy with that. So we're gonna have to see what happens next week for that holiday Havoc match.
Yes. I love always seeing Zelina wrestle. Whenever they let Zelina wrestle, I get so excited. Like I just think she's actually really good. And they just don't let her showcase it a lot. And she was all over the place in the ring. And shout out to Zelina because you're the best.
Yes.
Thanks.
Yes. My
and Mia
sister.
Too. Sorry.
Yes, of course. All the ladies just killing it. But let's move on to the main event. It's Randy Orton versus Jimmy Uso. Stephanie, how was this match?
I thought the match was actually really good. No, not that voice. I mean, Randy again, not just looks better than ever, but he's moving even better than ever. I don't know. Like I actually thought him and Jimmy worked really well together. It's really cool kind of seeing Jimmy get this solo run because we're so used to the twins being together. So it's been really nice just seeing him have matches solo with, not his brother, but by himself with other people. And I thought him and Randy actually worked really well together. They were telling the story. I like how Jimmy's kind of like doing the timeout thing, like wait, man, like just give me a breather, right? Like Randy's like, what? Like get up. Like he wasn't having any of it. So again, I loved it. The ending was a bit shenanigans, but I like the match itself for what it was.
I like the match. The ending was a bit of shenanigans when we had Solo come out and then LA Knight and of course Roman, and it was just like, what's going on? They're taking out LA Knight. Yeah.
You didn't tell me what time I was coming to save you, man. So I just came out.
Exactly. We're getting LA Knight getting beat up and then Randy Orton getting beat up, but then we had the return of AJ Styles. Also, what's happening in WWE? What are they eating? How are they like working out? Because Randy Orton comes back and he looks brolic as hell, and now AJ Styles is coming back and he's got those big old muscles. What's going on? What is happening?
AJ Styles,
what is the workout routine?
buff AF. Like he looked swole. Okay, like to your point, like they all are coming back saying, okay, if I'm gonna be injured, I'm coming back with houses on my back. Like I don't.
It was I mean like, and what you were saying before we hit live was AJ Styles came out, he's wearing all black, he's wearing black
He's wearing
jeans.
black jeans, you guys. I should have known
He,
when I saw the black jeans. I should have
exactly.
known.
He hit the phenomenal forearm, and bloodline scurries out to the ringside. But then AJ Styles attacks LA Knight. He doesn't attack Randy Orton, but he attacks LA Knight, and then he walks out of the ring. He walks to the back. I like this because I think LA
Hmm.
Knight is the element that we don't need right now in the bloodline. We've seen it. He had his chance at Crown Jewel. Now that Randy Orton is back, I want to see this a little bit more. I don't enjoy the inclusion of LA Knight, but I like that AJ Styles knocked him out, and now this is possibly what we're going to get. This is the new feud that's going to have with LA Knight, AJ Styles. I think AJ Styles, when he was before he was out, he was getting a little lost in the sauce as well.
He
I
was.
like that they're separating
Agree.
him with Luke and Carl Anderson. I do like when they're together, but AJ is just so phenomenal when he's by himself. So AJ Styles versus
I have
LA
to agree.
Knight, I'm looking forward to it. I want to see that feud. I think this is definitely like this is the exciting element that I want to see for LA Knight, especially going into next year, especially going into 2024.
I agree. My question is, remember earlier I was talking about layers to the bloodline
Mhm.
story. I don't know how involved AJ is going to be in that. Some people are writing, is AJ joining the bloodline? Is he trying to align himself with Reigns? Um, why would he attack LA Knight otherwise? And I'm like, I don't know. Maybe he, feels that LA Knight came in here and stole his shine. Like to Alex's point, AJ Styles kind of lost in the sauce before he was gone. Like him and the OC were kind of just there. And I do kind of hope they keep Gallows and Anderson away from him. Um, because AJ Styles by himself is an absolute beast. Uh, a heel AJ Styles is even more fun to me. I love heel AJ Styles. Like
That's
he's
it.
kind like he just
Uh,
says what he wants.
yeah.
And it's just a whole nother level to me. Of heel. It's a different type of heel. Where he's mean. He's mean. And I love that. I love a mean heel, like who just doesn't give a shit. So, the black jeans, man.
Yeah. And listen, AJ
Mhm.
carries a promo too. AJ's really good
Oh
on the
yeah,
mic, and LA Knight is good on the mic too. So that's, like you said, layers. There's a lot to look forward to with this feud against LA Knight and AJ Styles. And it's no disrespect to Carl Luke, but AJ just for me works better on his own, especially when he's a heel. And I this is gonna be great. This is gonna be great. I think this is a really fun feud going into the Royal Rumble, like the actual Rumble
agreed.
match. Because like there are little storylines, little pockets of storylines that play out at the
In the
Rumble.
match.
This is gonna
Yep.
be fun. This is gonna be a lot of
Is
fun.
this the reason why LA Knight doesn't win the Rumble? Like a lot of people were betting on LA Knight to win the
Mm-hmm.
Rumble. Now, if you would have asked me a month ago, LA Knight was my top pick. Then a certain Punk came back. Um, because it was to me before it was between Cody Rhodes and LA Knight, and now I'm like, mm, now Punk's a factor. Like that's the exciting thing for me in WWE right now. And I think I posted a post about how many different top stars there are right now that they all have kind of a story circulating around them. You still have Drew McIntyre, who's a factor. You have LA Knight. You have Jay Uso. You have Cody Rhodes. You have CM Punk. Like you have all these people. Solo Sokoa, like, could still be a factor. I just Dominic Mysterio. I'm sorry, but that man deserves of the year, breakout star of the year, because that man's
He
growth in
is,
the
yeah.
last year has been insane.
Mm-hmm.
But there's so many talents right now, especially on the men's side. Don't get me wrong, the women have plenty of talent as well, but they need to work more on circulating stories around each individually, more. But for the men, they have been really focusing on each individual character in some way, and a lot of growth within that, and stories circulating around them and say. And so, and there's a lot of them. There's at least a good 10 or 12 you can honestly just go with, and it makes sense. You have Damian Priest. I mean, it's just, it's insane. Um, how much WWE has going for it right now, as far as their talent and stories, and characters,
I'm
and that
looking
doesn't even
forward
include
to
the
it.
NXT guys.
It really doesn't. It really doesn't. And I'm looking forward to. They are really setting up the road. This might be. I don't know.
One
This
of the
might be the
best rumbles.
best rumbles. Honestly, looking forward to it. We got AJ Styles back. We've got
Yeah,
Randy Orton back. CM Punk. Whatever's happening
yeah,
between Punk and Seth on Monday Night Raw.
yep,
This is a fun rumble. We've got a lot. We've got some time. We've got a lot of time to build up some exciting
you
stuff.
have
But
Brock
right
Lesnar
now,
who might be coming back. Brock just likes to appear in things and places. Like,
I forgot
he
about that
might want,
guy.
right. I'm like, he might just show up at Rumble and take out half the roster. Like, who knows? Because people are like, oh, I want to see Brock versus Gunther. Like,
Yes.
there's so many things that can happen in the Rumble,
Listen,
and that's why it's my favorite pay-per-view. I love the
it's
Rumble so
I
much.
love the Royal Rumble. Anything can happen,
Yeah,
truly. What
yeah.
I want to see
Oh.
is Brock Lesnar
Mm-hmm.
entering the Royal
Mm-hmm.
Rumble this year
Mm-hmm.
and immediately
Mm-hmm.
Dominic Mysterio takes him out and eliminates him, throws him over the top rope. Think about
Look,
the heat
look,
that he would
look.
get.
Listen. So Monday Night Raw, 20 whenever it was the debut, the season debut as they call it, of Monday Night Raw. It was in Phoenix. I was sitting at the front banister, front row, whatever you want to call it, and I'm sitting there. It's the episode where Brock Lesnar absolutely decimates Dominic. I mean, this is before Dominic started wrestling. Like, this takes him
Mhm.
out. Like, he's throwing him all over the ring. He's flipping them up. I'm like, this kid is dead. And they put me on camera, and I'm going like, because I was befuddled. I thought Dominic was gonna be paralyzed. Like, the way he's
Yeah.
throwing him around, and they took him out on a gurney. It was a whole thing. All of that happened. That was 2019, I want to say. So
Mhm.
technically, to Alex's point, Dominic needs to get his look back. So technically, if this happens, because most people get so excited when Brock Lesnar enters the Rumble, right? Because he's just going to take everybody.
Yeah, and all
It
hell's
would
about to
be an
break loose.
absolute shocker
Mhm.
if he enters. He's about to like just take someone out, and Dominic comes.
I want that to happen so bad. I want it to
Oh my
happen
god, the heat!
so bad. And like MDB 999 says, that would be some Maven eliminating the Undertaker type of vibes. I'm here for it. I want it. Dude, Dominic Mysterio rise up, eliminates Brock Lesnar, maybe even like beats the record of 1 second with Santino Morello. I
Oh
want
my
to
god!
see it, dude.
Oh
The
my god!
heat, the
The heat.
heat that
Not
Dominic
even
would
that.
have,
I just
the
want Dominic
pop,
like
the pop that's gonna happen.
it
Like,
would be
oh my
insane.
god, it would be so
Oh my god!
insane.
I want
I
to see it.
really do think like the building will explode. And maybe that's like putting too
Between
much into
boos
it, but
and
I would
cheers,
love it. I would love it so
like
much.
there would be
Ah,
people absolutely popping so hard and the other people booing
that's
so hard. Like it would be an insane amount of just reaction in general to because no one would expect it. One,
yep.
two. Just I already posted this too. Like my last four for Rumble. I want Dominic Mysterio to last so long in the Royal Rumble, like just and him just escaping pretty much everyone trying to eliminate him, and
Yep.
everyone's just like, "What the hell? Like, what? Why is he still in here?" Like, and I just want him to last, maybe top 5, maybe, but like,
Maybe.
I just need him to last the whole time. I need him to be number 1 and just make
Oh
it to like
man.
26. Like,
It would
I
be
don't know,
great.
but
It'd be great.
anyway, it'd be wonderful. Now that you said it, now I want it. Like, damn it.
Oh man, I think everybody wants it. You're welcome. You're welcome for
Thanks,
the idea.
Alex.
WWE, pay me if you actually do it. Run me my check if you actually do it. Know your
No,
role.
no, you're
There you
all.
go. There you go. Well, guys, that is Know Your Role. That is our SmackDown post show for this week. We have a lot to look forward to next week for SmackDown's show. We are continuing the United States title tournament. We are going through the second round. We got Bobby Lashley versus Santos Escobar, and then we have Carmelo
Mhm,
Hayes versus
mhm.
Kevin Owens. We've got the Holiday Havoc with the 8 women tag match,
Yep.
and we have to look to see. Maybe we're gonna hear something with AJ Styles. Maybe we're gonna hear something from Randy Orton as well. There's a lot to look forward to. There's a lot to look forward to going into 2024. So stick around with
I
us,
think
of course,
2024 is
every
going to be
Friday.
crazy for pro wrestling, dude. It's going to be crazy.
This year was already
This year was
madness. Next
insane.
year,
This year was insane for pro wrestling. Like, I don't think you can top everything that happened this year in pro wrestling. Like, just
it's like
things that you never thought would happen happened.
they're
WWE
like
being sold, Vince stepping down, like completely, like just things I just never thought would happen this year. Jade Cargill
insanity.
over here, CM Punk return to WWE. I think that's probably the biggest because I never thought in any lifetime that man was going to come back. So again, thank you for joining us on the show this evening. Thank you for chatting with us. I am picking a chat champion of the week. I think it goes without saying that has to be MDB999. That you've had great comments all night. However, you get it just for the solo Yeet Koa because I am using it and I love it. Solo Yeet Koa. Thank you, chat champion of the
Just
week, Alex. Where can they find you throughout the week, ma'am?
Oh boy. Well, guys, you can follow me on Twitter at Queen of the Ring. There's the handle right there, Queen of the Ring with 2 G's. You can follow me on twitch.tv/Queen of the Ring. I'm working on some exciting new videos in these next 2 weeks to round out the year on my YouTube channel. So youtube.com/Queen of the Ring Wrestling. You can subscribe there and hit the bell notification so you will know when those videos are out. Stephanie, where can the people find you?
Not here. I'm logging off. Just kidding. You find me on Know Your Role on BodySlamNet, BodySlam.net, or the BodySlam YouTube channel every Friday. Don't think I'll. Yeah, I have no plans coming up any Friday, so I should be here. Guys. I'll be here, unless I'm sick, because that seems to be going around right now. But I will be here every Friday with my good friend and wonderful co-anchor here, Alex. You can find me in True Hill Heat's channel every other Sunday on Serving Face and Hills, where we talk women's wrestling, my absolute passion. And you can catch me on a couple of different shows, actually, just guest appearing. So I'll be posting those on Twitter. My Twitter's at Stephanie Hypes. My TikTok is at Stephanie Hypes, and my Instagram's at Stephanie Hypes with 2 S's. Follow me there. Follow me on all the platforms. Chit chat, DM me. Don't DM me, actually. I never check them. Just at me on Twitter or something. I really don't. I'm really bad at it. But thank
Oh
you guys for
man.
joining for Know Your Role tonight. Thank you for the chats. Thank you for the laughs. We will see you guys next week.
We'll see you guys next week. Know your role.